funniest pets and people. A cute kitty in the corner pocket. The real reason it's called Wet Pants Hill. A cat beats a snowy retreat. A dog makes a tentacle of himself. A giraffe with a nose for nonsense. And a snowboarder makes a big splash. It's the show that will have you sick, stay, laugh, and beg for more. Welcome to Funniest Cats and People. We just can't seem to say it too many times. This show is all about the good times had out of a moving car window. But with the price of gas lately, he has to settle for the more economical scooter ride. He's got the wind in his face and he's saving the planet. Nice job, Bosco. Yep, that's him. You may not know the face, but you definitely know the name. See, he doesn't want you to know his name. He wants you to think he has never seen a pool table before, and he doesn't even know how to get a ball in any of the pockets. Then, just when you think you got him all figured out, he says, just to make it interesting, let's go say 25 bones a ball, right? Then he shows you that he knows all the ins and outs of the table, from corner pocket to corner pocket. Yes, sir, you've just been hustled by none other than Minnesota cats. Blondes have more fun, unless, of course, Sparky is around. Sparky feels there is only room for one blonde per house, and in this house, that would be Sparky. It's all well and good to have a birthday party for your dog, but there isn't any need to wrap the presents. I mean, come on. Your dog is sporting the #1 sniffer of all time. I mean, a dog's nose is like 1,000,000 times more sensitive than a human, so he knows what is in that package, trust me. Wrapping paper just gets in the way, as does the box. Yep, just as he thought, a bone. Henry Ray is a natural. He plays 3 instruments, writes his own music, does the duck walk, and, did I mention, he has perfect pitch. The problem is he really has no flair for the technical aspects of performing live. He just can't handle the equipment. But let me tell you something. Once this kid gets a roadie, you'll be hearing from him everywhere. Until then, you're just gonna have to kind of take our word for it. Spring, summer, fall, and winter, the best fun is outdoor fun. Well, maybe not winter. Oh, okay, winter too. Fireball was tired of looking for fresh watering spots in the forest, so he decided to put on a collar and pretend to be a dog. Oh yeah, he had spied how dogs were treated in that house on the edge of the woods, and he was right. Not only did they buy his dog act, but they gave him a drink right from the spigot. Yeah, right from the spigot. They don't get service like this in the forest. No way, baby. Wow, 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 wow. Now it's time for Fun with Water. Water comes in 3 forms. When it's frozen, it can be a solid. When it's at an average temperature, it is a liquid. And when it is hot, it can be a gas. Like when you're playing on it when it's a solid and you end up falling in it as a liquid, you can really get steam, which is water as a gas. And that concludes another episode of Fun with Water. Ghost wants it known far and wide that he is the undefeated dodgeball champion of the Hickama County Riding Stables. Partly because there is no one there to play with, but Ghost feels it's more likely his stellar undefeated record. So, if you think you have the chops and are willing to drive over to Hickama County, stables are just off Route 43, Ghost is waiting and practicing. It ain't easy being the undisputed, undefeated champion, but Ghost seems to manage. You know, it's not easy training for the Kentucky Derby when you live in a snowy state. But this horse is so dedicated, he's willing to clear the track of snow using his favorite bucket. You can't use the snow shovel. Gotta keep the hooves ready for the big race, you know. The best thing about snowboarding at night is that you look incredibly cool. The downside is that you can't see a darn thing. Oh, put that table there! Ow! The deer knew the dog was at the vet, so they were ready to move in. They didn't realize the cat said he'd fill in as watch cat until the dog came back. Now, the cat could have handled one deer pretty much by himself, maybe even two. But when he saw there was a whole herd, that cat knew it was time to cut his losses. No, let the dog deal with this nonsense. After all, the cat had a post to scratch. Priorities, baby. Priorities. Several times a day, this zebra looks up and smiles so that satellite photographs of the Serengeti depict a positive image of the animals living in it. The debate may rage on about whether zebras are black and white stripes or white with black stripes, but as you can see, their teeth are all white. Otto was an awesome snowboarder, but not such a great water skier. Just because the equipment looks the same doesn't mean you can do them both successfully. You know, like badminton and tennis, similar rackets, different sport, buddy. With the threat of a reindeer strike looming, Santa had the elves tinker with alternative transportation. But luckily for children everywhere, the reindeer's legal counsel advised them to sign the collective bargaining agreement, and Christmas went off without a hitch. It was a close one, though. Coming up, a hind leg hopper. And a terrible goal stopper. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. A lot of people hit the treadmill while others hop on the elliptical, but I say laughter is the best exercise you can get. Snowflake is proof positive you don't need to be a member at one of those trendy gyms to stay in shape. Nope. Snowflake just does all of her backflips in her own home and melts away the pellet pounds. Whoever coined the phrase fighting like cats and dogs never met Jerry and Rick. They're both dogs, but they just cannot get along. So, next time you see two people quarreling, just tell them they're fighting like Jerry's and Rick's. we'll know what you mean. You ever wonder how this breed of dog got to be known as a retriever? Well, because dog who loves to swim to the center of the pool, then dive to the bottom, get a rock, and bring it back to the person who threw it is really quite a mouthful. So, they stuck with retriever. Jenkins is only one activity away from getting his citizenship badge from the YDCA Canine Guides. He has already established that he is clean in body and pure in heart and picks up litter wherever he goes. The last thing on his list is helping an elderly man across the street. Now, I know, this guy isn't exactly elderly. I mean, not to you and me. He's probably right around 30-ish, but that means he's 210 in dog years. So Jasper rightfully feels you don't get much more elderly than that. Man, wait until the other cadets see that, Jasper. Once again, Ace did. Good boy, Jasper. They say that dogs are colorblind. Yeah, well, not Jojo. See, not only can Jojo see every color in the spectrum, but he also can see when colors clash, and it drives him crazy. That rug pattern does not go with a sofa. And don't even get him started on those pillows. This is never-before-seen videotape of the very first elementary school pageant to ever carry the PG-13 rating. Unhook the collar. Time for Funniest Pets and People Unleashed. Even though it's been 7 weeks since he got back from his Jamaican vacation, Buster is having a hard time letting go. Yo, Buster, man. Time to move on, man. Everyone at the aviary said they were mad. They didn't think two sweet little budgies could build a robot bird capable of destroying the world, and they were right. In fact, it's only capable of sitting on a shelf and chirping, but build a robot they did. So who's laughing now? Well, besides the robot bird. Now, there are a lot of things that make for a good goalie. Lightning-quick reflexes and a good glove hand are just two of them. But top of the list would have to be peripheral vision. Maybe Bailey here should try Waterboy. Why would this cat raise a group of puppies? Well, you know the old saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Plus, she has a heart of gold. When the Petersons stopped buying Marcel his favorite cat food, he pretended he wanted to be returned to the store where they got him. Now, the Petersons can't call Marcel's bluff because they don't have the receipt. Looks like they'll just have to start buying the expensive food again. Now, if you want to make it look like your dog is talking, you put peanut butter in his mouth, right? The secret to making a pig look like he's talking? Well, you just put pretty much anything in there, like bacon. Don't ask. Gene sure was enjoying his birthday cake, but everyone else wanted to enjoy it too. Now it was an old-fashioned horse race. So will the rest of the party get served before Gene makes his mark on their slice? Well, one thing is for sure. No one is going to want that end piece. Except for Gene, of course. This is the tape that did it. That's right, once this hidden video of Roscoe cavorting with a member of the feline species made it onto the internet, Roscoe was as good as kicked out of the doggy union. Having an official vote was a mere technicality, but it just goes to show you never act in a private way you wouldn't want to be seen in public. It's a tough lesson, Roscoe. It's a tough lesson. Coming up, a peekaboo pooch. And a waltzing wipeout. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. What goes up must come down, and all these clips must be rewound. If Cassie the dog would just put all this energy into digging instead of jumping, she'd be out by now. For a lesser dog, the game is over when a bad throw sends the fetch stick out of the yard. But Jinx is no lesser dog. See, when you play fetch with Jinxie, you don't stop playing fetch until Jinxie says so. At the Easter Bunny Training Academy, it isn't all brightly painted eggs and sugar-coated marshmallow treats. No siree. Now, the most important thing they learn here is how to respond if they're ever spotted by a human child. Hopefully, none of them will ever find themselves in that particular situation, but if they do, they could well look back on this day at the Easter Bunny Training Academy and realize that these exercises may very well have saved their tails. Thank you, Drill Sergeant Bunny. Lumberjacks are a superstitious lot. For instance, when a cat crosses their path and climbs a tree, the lumberjack believes the only way to undo the hex is to cut down the limb with the cat on it. If the cat runs into your tent, it's even worse. But if the cat climbs an adjacent tree, then the hex has been broken and a run of good luck is in store. Quick, Jean-Claude, go buy a lottery ticket. Welcome to Dance Dance Demolition, the only dance competition where grace and agility count as much as blunt force trauma. The last dancing couple still standing is the Dance Dance Demolition Champion. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, dogs man's best friend. My best friend? Well, they are of the feathered persuasion. Food critics from far and wide said that this restaurant was for the birds. So when the birds read it in the paper on the bottom of the cage, they took it literally and they just had to try it. More and more birds heard about the place from word of beak. Looks like this place is going to be a big hit.
Wait a minute. The cage door is open? This is amazing. I'm gonna fly right out of here. I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna enjoy my life for the first time ever. They can't keep me locked up in this bird cage. Oh, maybe they can. Now I know why the caged bird sings.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, it's important to keep moving, even if it's just a little bit. Because if you stay still too long, well, the pigeons might think you're a statue. Coming up, he thinks this is funny, but it's not. When we return to Funniest Pets and People. Welcome back to Funniest Pets and People. Jeffrey is the third base coach for the undefeated intramural zoo softball team. Right now, he's signaling for the runner to steal second, the batter to bunt down the first baseline, and for someone in the dugout to please bring him a tissue. See you next time.